not need, but what? Oh, sorry, but
Oh, it's okay. All right, what's up, y'all? We are live. Aaron After Dark is live, and we're about. Yes, I made a name. Somebody, oh, my girl Paris actually named that for me.
you
So
know
I
what
mean,
after dark means, right?
oh my
What's
God.
about to go? What's about to go on this broadcast that I didn't know about before I came on? What you about to do over there, Mr. Leck? What you letting go of tonight, brother? Hey, we ready. We ready.
Yes. I am ready to let a lot go tonight. Okay,
Ooh.
so this is another episode of Aaron After Dark, and we're about to discuss the Kevin Samuels viral video. And for a lot of you who have not seen it, I would suggest run and go Google Kevin Samuels viral video real quick, because I'm not going to show any video of it because I don't know how this. I'm still new on YouTube, so I don't want to play the video or whatever.
You can play it.
And I don't know how it works, but I'm still
Yeah.
learning or whatever. But
Okay.
I am joined with my friend Tanya TKO TV. I'm not her friend, but she's my friend. Put it like that.
I mean, we all have different definition of friends, so I don't give it up that easy.
You don't give it up that easy.
So,
Okay, so for the people who are coming on, I need you guys to do something, and you already know what that is. Make sure to like the video as you come in, because if you wait to like the video, you're going to forget. So like the video. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the channel, and let's get to it. And say hey in the comments. Say hey. Okay, so Kevin Samuels has a show. And if you guys aren't familiar with Kevin Samuels, like I said, just go on YouTube and look up Kevin Samuels, just like how it sounds, and go check out his show. Like, he's been doing his show for a while. And, I'm not going to say I look at it all the time, but I look at it. And we somewhat have the same mindset, but then we somewhat have a totally different mindset. Because no matter who the person is, I'm okay with being objective, Tanya. I'm not running around just saying bad stuff about every person. No, I'm going to check that. Actually, to be honest with you, Kevin, and one other person are the people that I'm actually learning from as far as doing this YouTube thing. So with all that being said, I'm going to continue to be objective, and no matter who the person is, it's something I can learn from. So the video that went viral. The video that went viral is of him and a young lady that I think lives in North Carolina, and she has her own pet grooming business. And she came on his show saying that she wants a high value man. And that is literally what his show is about. His moniker is High Value Man. He didn't invent the wording, but his whole thing is about high value men. So women come on Kevin Samuels' show to a certain degree, rate themselves, and I'll say it again, rate themselves on how they are worthy of a high value man. They literally say, hey, I want you to rate me, right? Rate me. Just YouTube, rate me, RATE. So they come on the show saying, hey, I want you to rate me. So he literally says, what's your dress size? What's your age?
oh,
What's your height? How many kids you
my
have?
goodness.
So that is what he does, right? And then this young lady came on and to a certain degree wanted some relationship advice just overall. And she was there on the wrong night. So that particular night she was on, it was Who Has Smoke for Kevin Samuels night. You know how you, just like we named this show, we name shows, right, Tanya? You name your show. So if you have a Q&A type of show and your Q&A is about lipstick or whatever, or self-love, and somebody comes on and saying, hey, I have this problem with my taxes, and you're like, yo, that's not this show. Like, why are you coming on here? But yeah, I just still have a problem about my taxes though. Wouldn't you be somewhat perturbed? And you're like, yo, I'm talking about self-love, not no freaking taxes. What are you talking about? And they keep talking. And at some point he just says, you know what? It's cool. Let's keep Go ahead.
They're saying that they can't hear you on Instagram, and I also sent you a private chat message.
Oh, no. I need them to come over to YouTube because
okay.
I'm on YouTube and Instagram or whatever, and we can, I'm taking calls or whatever, but I'm just letting them know that come over to YouTube. I got it down here. It says go to YouTube, right? But yeah, they're coming over. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit, whenever in a minute.
I can't believe you watch him.
So you don't watch him at all?
I find him to be very toxic. I don't fill my environment with toxicity.
Understandable. Okay, so what are your thoughts of, like, because you've seen because you actually showed a part on your show, Tanya TKO TV. She actually has a YouTube channel, and it's freaking brilliant. So make sure to go to her channel and subscribe to her channel. But on your show, you enlightened me to a part of that clip that I didn't see, where he said some things that were, what would I say, appalling, disrespectful, hurtful. So what kind of smoke you got for him?
I don't have any smoke for him. He's toxic. I don't watch him. I don't let toxicity into my realm. And I said what I had to say in my video, that, first of all, there's a lot of controversy surrounding whether or not that man actually has a real legitimate business. There's also some controversy over whether or not that man is heterosexual.
But what does that have to do with anything, though?
Do y'all
see what women do?
What do you mean?
Do y'all see what women do? Like, we ain't talking about that. We talking about the conversation. I don't know what the man does, and he's not a dating coach. He's simply, God darn it. What is it?
Exactly. You can't think of it in probably
image consultant. He's an image consultant.
So he claims on the internet.
But look, that means he consults people about the image that they would like to portray. So all these things that you speak of has nothing to do with anything. I don't really care.
If he has no legitimate business, if he is claiming to be something that he is not, if he secretly hates women or wants to be one, or has no interest in really having any functional relationship with any woman, all of this matters. It's in context. Yes, it all matters.
Okay. All right.
So if he claims he's an image consultant, but there is no legitimate verification of the fact that he has any type of substantiated business, and he's over there trying to give people consultancy advice, so people have a right to know.
But is he giving consulting? Like, are the people? I know you don't really look at the show, but do you think, because overall, I think he said it before, he checked his analytics, and out of the 4,000 to 6,000 people that are on his live virtually every night, the majority of those people are women. So do you actually think those women are looking for business advice, or no, Tanya?
Hold on. You said he has 6,000 people on his live. Let me just look up his videos and see what type of numbers he's pulling.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. Like in a 2-hour show, it's really good. I mean, it's huge. It's pretty huge.
Oh, okay, I see. All right. Yeah. Okay, I see. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what his analytics says. So
no, what I'm saying is he's not giving business advice, is what I'm saying. And you're saying he's not business, this and that. But that's not what they're there for.
if he is not substantiated as an image consultant, then is he an image consultant? I heard that he was an alleged personal shopper buying things off of the rack.
Well, I know the video that you are referring to. The guy, shout out to the Saint in the Center. He made like a diss video, and I can't get mad at anybody who made a diss video about somebody because everybody does things the way they do. I actually, a long time ago, back in November last year, I got tired of people calling, influencers calling men F boys all the time. So I literally made a diss video about Derek Jackson. So
you made a Derek Jackson diss video?
Yeah, but I can't call, and we're not going to talk about that. But overall, I'm not going to call the kettle black. So the Saint in the Center made a video talking about how he's not this, how he's not that. And I just want you all to know, like, ladies, we have to stay on topic because everybody wants to be on the comment.
Katrina, you're right. You're right. So what is the topic? What's the topic? I'm sorry. I'm going to get back on topic. I'm sorry. Thank you, Katrina, for getting me in check, gathering me up. Okay, so what's the topic?
Okay.
Whether or not a fake image consultant is consulting people's images? Go ahead.
Okay. This particular woman came on and she wanted advice on what she should do. And from your particular video, there are some things that I feel like you left out because in my opinion, the young lady, they both were wrong in certain forms of context. Okay. But the young lady, I would say, I'm gonna start off with young lady because I know a lot of y'all are, he's disgusting. We'll get to that in a second. But a couple things involving this young lady. The first thing is, like I said earlier, he's doing a show about right? It was whoever hates Kevin Samuels, I want to smoke. So come on here and tell me what you got to say about Kevin Samuels. Then she comes on there out of nowhere saying, hey, I want some dating advice. And he literally said, like, okay, that's not what we're doing our show on. And the thumbnail literally says what we're doing the show on. Why are you on here? And then he literally says, would you like to go to my website and, get some advice? And she just sits there. And he's like, so what? And she's just like, well, and then she just keeps going. Well, I just think men are this and that, and I make 100. And he's just like, so you're not even listening. And he said, okay, all right, whatever, let's do it, right? So that's the first thing I feel like she did. She didn't follow instructions, and when somebody corrected her, she didn't seem to want to listen. Because if that was me, say I went on Kevin Samuels' show and said, hey, yo, this girl, this and that. He said, whoa. This is the, hate on Kevin Samuels episode. We'll do that tomorrow. I would have been like, oh, okay, click. I would have left, So that's the first thing. I feel like she did not respect his time because this is not the time for what she was asking. But she got on there. She didn't care. So that's the first thing. And then she got on there, sadly, and I know you guys, a lot of y'all are women apologists, but in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, she sounded like a little girl. He was just like, all right, so what's going on? Well, she started looking up. But I don't think, and I'm like, all right, come on, man. Because here's the thing. I'm just looking at her situation like, okay, once she finally got it out, she said, well, I make $100,000 a year for the last 3 years. And she literally said this, Tanya, and I want to see what you think about this. She literally said, I date down, and she said I date down about 3-4 times. But the guys that I keep dealing with, I feel like I need a high value man because the men that I'm meeting on social media, she says on dating sites, but at the same time, she says, I'm not meeting high value men. So he's like, all right, the men that are coming to you or attracted to you on these dating sites, they're literally looking at your picture. They're looking at your thumbnails, whatever you got on social media, and they're like, all right, those particular guys are the ones that are attracted to you. And if those are the guys that are attracted to you, that's really it, unless you want to change your environment. But then she turns around and says, well, I don't put myself out there that much. So
okay, what is the question? Because there's a few different things. Let me start with the very first thing, right? Okay. He, as the host of the show, if someone calls in and they're talking about a different topic than the show, just like you told me to get back on topic and I'm your guest, right? He didn't have to take the phone call. So let's not act like he's some victim of a phone call in which he had to berate her to get her away from him. That's one right there. Two, so she came on. She was talking about how she doesn't put herself out there. She's on these dating apps. If you go to bargain basement shopping, right? Most of the things that you're going to find are not going to be a good fit, but you really have to dig through the racks. So just because bottom basement type people are attracted to you doesn't mean that you're bottom basement yourself. It just means that it's a numbers game. You just have to sift through the racks.
Right. I agree with you. Or go to another store or high-end store, right?
There's some good finds in the discount stores. All you got to do is just dig through the racks.
But sometimes when you bring said discounted person home, it takes a minute for you to realize that, oh crap, look what I got to deal with. You know, it's almost like, and I don't want to say you know, a man or a woman is like a stray cat or a dog, but it's like seeing a stray cat or a dog on the side of the road. Like, oh wow, look at that cute. I'm sure you've seen a cute dog or a cute, you know, for the dog lover, you've seen a cute little chihuahua walking down the street, and you're like, oh wow, what's that? You know, whatever you would say, you know, I want to take the dog home because it's a nice looking dog. But when you get it home, and this is for men and women, because this is a woman shopping for men, so I don't want y'all women getting mad at me. You're gonna realize that it possibly may be a reason why this dog is homeless, why this man is in the bargain basement. He may look good, he might be a good find, but once you bring him home, you're gonna start seeing that he has mommy issues, he has you know, anger issues, and they say, you know, you're gonna be in a dumpster fire. So why shop in the bargain basement for a man? Looking for a man that is lower than you. Like, why do women date down, Tanya?
Why do women date down?
Yeah.
I think Black women in particular date down because Black men in particular, the pickings out there are slim. And so if they want a Black man, unfortunately, a lot of these Black men on the racks, they're these stray alley cats dressed up. I'm sorry.
But how many men do you think are out there? How many Black men do you think are out there? How many millions of men do you think are out there in America?
There's about 40 million Black people in America. And so
let's just split it in half. So there's 20 million Black men.
Right, but there's 2 million more Black women in America than there are Black men.
Okay.
So, and then listen, the wealthiest of Black men marry interracially. So that's one. You know, there's a lot of factors with this whole Kevin Samuels video, which is problematic because Black men get with average looking white women and average looking Latinas every day, average looking Asian girls every day. But then all of a sudden, when it comes to a Black woman, then all of a sudden she has to work twice as hard to get half as far. There's always these super hoops that Black women have to jump through when if she was white and obese, let me ask the audience this question. I really want to know. Can you take a survey? Give the numbers. Okay. So if she was white and obese, do you think he would have told her that she was average and couldn't find a Black man to invest in her and be with her? Do you think he would have told an obese white woman that? Can you give your audience numbers to vote on?
Okay, if you think If you're okay, let's just say yes. We'll go with no. I mean, one, and we'll say no, and we'll go with two. So if you think Kevin Samuels would have said the same thing to an obese white woman, put a one in the chat. And if you don't think he would have said something different to a white woman, and he would have said the same thing.
No, that's it. You said the same thing.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. If you think he would have said the same thing to an obese white woman, put a one in the chat. But if you think he would have said something differently to an obese white woman, put a two in the chat. Sorry, I know I confused y'all. So I'm not really getting your point.
The point is that people out there are not going to say that an obese white woman or an average white woman is not going to be able to get a black man.
Why?
Because
I don't know.
Because the data shows different. There's all types of out of shape, non-pretty in the face, unkempt white women who get black men every single day, high earning black men who are football players and all types of stuff. Come on. There would be no, she wouldn't even come there for his validation. She would just go take her fluffy white ass over to the end zone and go find herself a baller. It's as simple as that. She wouldn't waste her time on his show. She would just go take her fluffy white ass to the end zone or the whatever you call that thing in the mid court, and she would shake them white tatas, and she would get herself her black man.
So what is that saying? Black men are more attracted to average white women versus average black women, and a black woman has to be what versus what?
The standards for black women is just different.
Is it too high or too low?
It's you have to be near perfection. You have to be all of these things. And it's like, even with when we talk about the purity of white women, right? White women just in our society have a higher market value because they are the white men's daughters. Because they are the daughters of the men who have set the standard of beauty in this country. And so, no, they don't have to go through the same parameters. It's like when it comes to a black woman, you have to be Virgin Mary, Mother Teresa, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and all of these things rolled up in one in order to be able to be deemed worthy. Now, what it is that Kevin said to that woman, he said she didn't deserve a man who made six figures. She makes six figures. What is it that makes him feel? How can any human being tell another human being what it is that they deserve? How?
Okay. I'll answer that. The first thing I want to say something about the black white thing. I kind of agree with that, but I don't want to do the white woman versus black woman because I don't know enough about that. But I can understand how the average American would see a white person as the a certain level, where I don't know. We're not looking at dating wise, we're looking at culture wise. So I can understand that, but I'm not really going to go with the white woman versus black woman. Would he have given her different advice? No, because I've seen him do it. He's giving
to average white women. You heard him tell average looking white women that, okay, well, listen, you know his show, I don't.
Yeah, it's all kinds of
this woman was looking for a black man. Yeah. Now we know white men have different standards. White men have different standards.
Well, that's like I said, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole of white, black.
Okay.
Because this is part of what my issue is, because you literally said that black women have to be damn near perfect, right?
Yes.
I disagree.
Okay.
We talked earlier on the phone about that I somewhat have a problem with women, but mainly black women, because I only date black women. So I'll say black women, because I don't want to say white women don't have this. I don't know, because I don't date them. So Black women have a certain amount of masculine energy as they walk around, as they operate in society. And I did say that it's understandable, because when a Black woman isn't covered and she's young and she's attractive, she has to, in a way, keep guys off a little bit. And as a habit, she may have a habit of exerting or exhibiting masculine energy. And a masculine energy would be like, the way she walks, the way she talks, the way she responds to things, and my dream would be for Black women to let their guards down and be more elegant, more vulnerable, and more feminine. But out here in society, when you don't have a man, that may get you hurt in a woman's eyes. Because I'm not a woman, I'm not 130 pounds. I don't know. I don't know how it feels to be a woman. So I can understand how so many Black women can actually just operate in their masculine instead of their feminine in order to survive out here. So with that being said, one of the problems I have with Black women is this masculine energy that they exhibit. I don't personally have that much of an issue with it, because when a woman comes around me, and I'm not saying I'm all this and that, but when a woman comes around me, that masculine energy goes away. But I can't date all of y'all. And I can't run around telling men how to be like me, because some men may not want to be like me, And it's something that I can't explain about me that I do for women to let that masculine energy go. So the only thing I can do is let women know, like, yo, I understand that there's a masculine a need for masculine energy as a woman being out here single. It may, keep you a little away from guys trying to holler at you all the time. I'm sure that may be annoying, but at the end of the day, when you are what you repeatedly do. So if you keep walking around and operating in this masculine energy, you can't do anything but be masculine once you meet that man. And that's one of the pet peeves I have with black women.
This is a fallacious argument. I was waiting for you to finish speaking, but I didn't know if you were ever going to stop. This is a fallacious argument. First point, that Black women have a lot of quote unquote masculine energy. Which Black women? Black women in America? Black women in the Caribbean? Black women in Africa? America. What Black women are we talking about? America. So then we need to ask ourselves, what is the situation that is existing in America, which is altering the ability for Black women to be quote unquote feminine in America? And then also, by whose standard? Are we judging Black women in America by the standards of women raised and protected and provided for by other men? Like, Black women are more masculine compared to which other women? Which other women? Are we talking about white American women, Asian American women? What women are we comparing Black women to say that Black women are more masculine than other women?
They're more masculine than men. That's who they're more masculine than. That's who. They're more masculine than the average man. Or either, because this is what happens, not to cut you off, I want you to go back to your point, but just remember, just in just in common sense, the law of attraction, or whatever you want to look at it as, masculine attracts feminine and feminine attracts masculine. So if you're walking around with masculine energy, don't you think you're going to attract men who exhibit feminine energy? Am I wrong or no?
I was watching this documentary.
Mm-hmm.
It's a documentary called The Making of an African Colony. It's on Netflix, and it talks about how Nigeria was colonized by white men, right? It talks about the murders that existed, the land grabs, the resource grabs, etc., right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was this one portion where it talked about the revolt in the markets. There was a revolt headed by women. And the women gathered together, they gathered the resources, they gathered other women together, and they revolted against white men. And it was in watching this documentary that it dawned on me, right, that Black women have always been fierce. We've always been fierce. We've always been warrior goddesses. We've always had, Black people in general have an energy that exists within us because we are the original man and woman. We have a certain fierce, fiery energy that exists inside of us, right? Black women have always been powerful. Black women were made for Black men. Our power, we are powerful beings. Black men are powerful beings, Black women are powerful beings, and our power works in tandem with Black men. What's ending up happening is we have Black men who are now coming out and they are saying, well, look at the behavior of the women who are raised in households with men who protect, provide, pamper, are masculine, and provide a space for their women to be feminine. I saw this YouTube series that came out a few years ago where there were these Black men who were talking about going over to Brazil to find women because the women in Brazil were oh so much more feminine. Now, the majority of Black people who were trafficked from Africa were taken to Brazil. What is the difference between the Black women who are in Brazil and the Black women who are in America? You're talking about going to another man's patriarchy and coveting the women who are created in that man's patriarchy, in the safety of the roads that are built in his country, the businesses that are built by the men of that country, the housing structures, the food supply chain, the currency, the society that is made by another man. So what ends up happening is Black men cuckold themselves by adoring, coveting, and being envious of the women created by other men, by other men's masculinity. And then they look here in this country and we see all of this out of wedlock, these Black men who ain't doing the right thing. I remember in 2011, when I looked at the statistics for HBCUs, 75% of the enrollees at HBCUs were female, only 25% were male. So we have a society of men who just don't seem to want to give a damn about being upward mobile, who don't seem to want to give a damn about protecting and providing for the women and children, who don't seem to want to be there to provide a masculine structure in their daughters' lives. And then they turn around and they say, well, look at you, who had no masculine backbone and who had to fend for yourself, who got calluses on your hands. No, bitch. Now you too rough for me. You too hardened for me. I'm going to go covet that which was created by another man's penis. I'm going to think that his DNA is better. I'm going to find the women who have his phenotype to be better than the women of my phenotype. So yes, so Black men end up really cuckolding themselves and betarizing themselves to another man, which he obviously feels is superior to him because he likes the way that that man raises and protects his women better.
Interesting. So, I can 100% agree with you on that. But as an individual, and I'm not disagreeing with you, as an individual, what do we do about this right now as an individual? There are hundreds of women watching this right now, wondering is, some may be thinking like, was Kevin Samuels right? Was he warranted? Was the woman wrong? Or was the woman right? And according to what you were saying, that makes a lot of sense. But right now, just coming from a man's point of view, with all that being said,
Black men have to love themselves more. That's the first and foremost. Black men have to love themselves more. A person like Kevin Samuels and any damn Black man on the internet trying to give some damn relationship advice to a woman, he needs to get his Black ass up or sit his Black ass down and start trying to give some business advice to Black men, start trying to mentor Black boys, and start trying to shift and shape the landscape of our dating pool. Instead of trying to tell a Black woman what she can and cannot get, that she can't get a six-figure man, he needs to be trying to figure out how to make more six-figure Black men. He needs to be trying to figure out how to get some political power in this country. Because like I said in my video, he calls himself an alpha man, but he is really an omega boy. He is a boy in the white man's land. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. He's talking about who it is that he is. And look, wolves run in packs. Where's the pack of Black men? Now, listen, I understand you said, I don't know if you talk about it publicly, what it is that you do privately, but I know that you're doing some things to gather together with other Black men to protect, right? Yeah. But other Black men, they need to be figuring out ways to protect the children that they have, to protect the resources that they gain. We need an army. We need to be able to control our food supply. We need to be able to control the houses that we live in. Black men need to be trying to figure out how to buy real estate, how to buy property, how to, if we get cut off, if worse comes to worse, most Black people don't even know how to get food unless the white man is creating a way for them to get it. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying. You're not lying.
Then. So we need to start thinking about those things. So it's like, how do we expect for a Black woman to be feminine when a Black woman doesn't even know if the fruit of her loins will survive out here in this white man's land, because Black men aren't doing enough to even protect the seed that comes from his loins? Come on.
I got to stop you right here. I got to stop you right here because I got an amazing point. First, before we get to that point, make sure to hit the like button. These likes are terribly low. There's 152 people on here. Let's get these likes up. So I need at least 30 likes in the next 10 seconds. All right. So with that being said, if this is true, Tanya, why on earth, because we're going to go right back to what the young lady said, why on earth are women dating down? This is not just her. It's thousands of Black women dating down. See, this is the way I look at it, because you're talking about survival. And I love this, the context of what we're talking about now.
Are there enough Black men for Black women to date up? Come on, let's ask that question.
All of Black women needs is one. So let's just look at this right here. If you look at animals, insects, fish, have you ever seen dragonflies flying around and they look like they're fighting? In a lot of cases, they're not fighting. It's a female dragonfly trying to get away from a loser dragonfly trying to mate with her. And he's like, no, nigga, get away from me. You don't do enough. You're not going to mate with me, because if you mate with me, you're going to give me weak babies. So when women are dating down.
Thank you, Traveling Diva 2018. Thank you.
So when women are dating down Black women, to a certain degree, she is like damning her offspring, because she knows this man is weak. She literally is saying, hey, I date down because of A, B, and C. So if she got pregnant by this man and he's a loser, a man that she chose, now she just damned her offspring. She just cursed her own children, because this guy is going to be like a lot of these women's kids' fathers.
I see you pinned a comment. Tanya's giving off hella masculine energy right now. You goddamn right. You goddamn right. And why is that?
Tanya, the cursing. I don't want no. I'm new to YouTube. You know a little bit better on YouTube. I don't know how much they are okay with, because I know you can say a little something every now and then, but I don't know. I don't know. So,
don't worry, you can still get monetized as long as your curses are not within the first 30 seconds of the video and not in the title. You are right. You can still monetize your video. So
okay.
Can I curse now?
No. I don't know enough about this stuff. So no. But the thing about it is, why are women, Black women in particular, purposely dating down, dating losers, dating men who don't have jobs, dating men who have mommy issues, dating men who still live with other women or live with their moms, or their house to house couch surfing, why are Black women purposely dating these men and making children with men that aren't worthy of them? You want to talk about who's not worthy?
They have to know their own self-worth. And when you don't have a father, or a father who was worth a damn at home, when you don't love yourself, look, when a Black man when the very first Black man who was supposed to love you abandons you, it sends you on a spiral in your life where you form these patterns and these habits. And if you don't know your worth, you give yourself away. 40% of Black girls are assaulted intimately before the age of 18, 40%. So yes. we talk about 4 out of 10 out there. If you see 1,000, about 400 of them have already been assaulted. This diminishes their worth. This diminishes their esteem. This diminishes their internal sense of value and who it is and what it is that they feel that they deserve. So it's like you talk about women growing up in an environment where they're not protected, they're not provided for, they were abandoned before they were even born, before they even knew who they were, they had already known loss. So it's like people date what feels familiar to them. And having a person who is a bum, I mean, look at their father. You have to look at who their father was. You have to look at what happened to them. What is their attachment style? What is it that existed in this young lady's life? Why is it that she doesn't know her worth?
But
then we looked at the numbers, right? We looked at the numbers. And listen, I know that there are times where I exhibit a lot of masculine energy because I see that you still have this thing pinned up there. And I'm unapologetic.
I don't know how to bring it down. I don't know how to take it down.
You just tap on another comment, and then untap it. And I'm unapologetic. I'm a warrior queen.
Okay.
I'm a warrior queen, and I'm okay. I'm okay. Listen, I was made for a Black man. I wasn't made for any other type of man. I was made for a Black man, and my energy is matched out there. Listen, I don't have to worry. So what is the question now, Aaron?
I have an issue though. You say how did you see Menace to Society? I'm making a point. Did you see Menace to Society?
Yeah, who was old enough to remember what that movie was about?
It's a movie where three boys grow up in the hood and they're doing all this crazy stuff, shooting everybody and all this stuff, right? It's it's just like Boys in the Hood, right? Because you can look at Boys in the Hood the same way. But in Menace to Society, there was a scene where O-Dog and Kane was sitting in their grandparents' house because Kane just came to see O-Dog, right? No, O-Dog came to see Kane, right? And in this neighborhood, it was like drug addicts. It was like crazy. It was like people, it was almost like a train station of drug addicts walking around this neighborhood. It was almost bumping into each other. There was so much going on, right? So this is the neighborhood that the grandparents were living in, right? Okay. So the grandparents said, "Oh, dog, do you know God is looking at you and stuff like that, right?" And O-Dog looked at the granddad and said, "You know what, Mr. So-and-so, I don't know about this." You know, he said something about God. He said, because my thing is, if he loved us, why did he put us here? And that stuck with me because here's the thing. God did not put them in that terrible neighborhood. You know who put them there? The same people that he's talking to, the grandparents. And to a certain degree, maybe because the grandparents were together, maybe the grandparents, at that time did not have enough wherewithal. You never know what was going on.
You never heard of redlining?
I know. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. And then, but the thing about it is, he's living with his grandparents because his mom wasn't around, because his dad was in prison. So here's the thing: when you say these young women, their dad left, my question is, does that mean that their mom chose a crappy man? Because we're not the
only person responsible for leaving their child is the person who left. That's it.
Hold on. But when if you sleep with a homeless person and he's up under a bridge and you got a baby by him, guess what a homeless person is going to do when he's done doing what he's doing? He's going to go right back under the bridge.
The only person responsible for leaving their child is the person who left their child. That's it.
That woman can jump out of the car and yell at her homeless baby daddy all she wants to. That's not going to change anything. You had a baby by a homeless person. So a lot of these women, a lot of our mothers, a lot of our grandmothers are doing the same things that are going on right now, which is dating down, dating losers on purpose. Because your self-esteem is low. A lot of your self-esteem is so low where you don't feel like you're worthy of a high value man. Forget about Kevin Samuels. You don't think you're worthy of a high value man. And I'm not talking to you, of course, Tanya, but a lot of you don't think you're worthy of a high value man. A lot of you have dated a man that was a good man, that had a great job. And some of you, guess what? You abandoned him because you started getting all in your thoughts, thinking like, oh my God, but he may leave me. Your abandonment issues started coming out of nowhere. See, your abandonment issues aren't triggered when you're with a loser because the loser needs somewhere to stay. That loser doesn't have a lot of options, but that good man has options. And if he chose you, you may literally self-sabotage the entire relationship because of your abandonment issues, because you know or think in your own mind that you're not worthy of that man. So y'all can sit around and talk about Kevin Samuels all you want to, but at the end of the day, a lot of you don't think you're worthy of a good man yourself. That's the reason why a lot of these men come out.
Are we having a discussion? What's the question? I've stated the only person responsible for leaving their child is the person who left.
I disagree with that. Let me tell you something.
We disagree then. So it's not the person's fault who left their child.
No, it's the person who chose a man's fault. And I'm not into blaming a fault. But if we want to look at
a lot of black men are into blaming women because you know what? It's like you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You can't claim that you're a leader, but then blame black women for where it is that you claim black women are leading men. You can't claim that black women have all of this masculine energy when they're not. When you're just, it's like you can't have it both ways. Are black men leaders or are black women the leaders? Are we the leaders? Are we the ones that are controlling? Is this a matriarchy that we're in?
This is the way it's going right now.
The only person responsible for leaving their child is the person who left, male or female. It's nobody else's fault. We are all human, and if we're adults, listen. When is a grown man going to take accountability for the fact that if he produces a child, that child is flesh of his flesh?
A lot of the times, you got to understand. A lot of the time, hold on, wait. A lot of times. These and this goes with me, my life, a lot of y'all's lives. We are oops babies. And it's just a woman and a man sleeping with each other in the neighborhood or whatever. And oops, I'm pregnant. And just like on Men's Society, she calls a good dude like, I'm pregnant. And he's like, yeah, right. Ain't no telling who else you having sex with. I didn't commit to you. You didn't commit to me. So we're just dating. So the possibility of that child being mine is, I don't know. But
you know what?
Wait, no. I'm almost done.
Okay.
If a woman, see, here's the thing. It's not about a woman being the leader. It's about a woman having requirements. It's about a woman having standards. A child comes out of you. Okay, like.
Well, you know what? You're right. You're right. You're right.
It's almost like a cookie factory, right? They have to make sure the product that is going into these cookies are right, because if they don't, and some asbestos or whatever gets in these cookies, It's gonna cause somebody to be sick.
You're right.
They're not gonna get mad
Black
at
women divest, date out.
Tanya,
divest and date out. He's telling you right now, divest, date out.
Tanya, can we take turns? I'm almost done. I said I'm almost done.
How much longer?
Okay. You don't get mad at the distributor. You get mad at the place that made the cookies. So whoever brought, you know what I'm saying? Am I right or wrong? They chose.
I already said you're right. Black women date out. These black men are telling you how they feel. Date out.
The bottom line is a cookie distributor, it can go and get whatever products it needs. If those cookies that the cookie factory made, but they got the cookie stuff from a distributor, if those cookies made the person sick, they're suing the cookie factory.
You spend too much time, Aaron. We have to.
Women are the baby factories. So at the end of the day, you have to be careful.
It's black women. It's your fault.
Distributing to you in your body.
Black women, it's your fault. These black men will not take responsibility. If the black man leaves, it's your fault. If he tells you some lies and it turns out not to be true, it's your fault. If he dies, it's your fault. So black women, go do something else. Listen, my mother is from the dirty. She's from the South. The best thing my mother did is decide that she would not marry a black American man. Okay. That's the best thing that she did.
That doesn't hurt anybody's feelings. Okay. So
I'm sure there are some feelings out there who are hurt.
Not really.
That's the best thing that she did. Because then I didn't have to have these conversations about low self-worth and low esteem and all of this other stuff.
All right.
Black people in America have a lot of issues and a lot of problems. And one of the biggest problems that I see is black men's refusal to take accountability for his own actions, regardless of how grown he is.
This particular woman is on this show with Kevin Samuels. This is her saying that she's dating losers.
I bet you each one of the men that she's dating is black American.
Okay, real quick commercial break. Make sure we got 285 people. Make sure to like the video. Everybody on here, like the video. I need 20 likes in the next 10 seconds. Or we're just gonna sit here.
You're so funny. You can click another comment and then click it off to get rid of the thing that's
click the comment off. Hold on, exactly, and then
click exactly again. See, now it's gone.
Okay, I'm a newbie. All right, so we're just gonna small talk until we get the likes up, y'all. Get the likes up, 282, 287. Let's get at least half of the likes from the people on here.
No, I'm not down talking black men. I think that there are some fundamental cultural issues that exist in this country. And I don't think black people in this country should date one another. I don't. I think that all black people need to date and marry interculturally. I think that we are destructive, and I think that we end up dragging one another down. That's how I feel.
So you're saying black men and black women are each other's problems?
I think there are a lot of sicknesses, that a lot of pathologies that exist in Black America. And I think it only perpetuates when people with like sicknesses get together and continue to drag one another down.
My thing is this. I just want to be objective. I'm not blaming women, but I'm not going to allow anybody to blame men either, because at the end of the day, we're talking about a particular show. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to stay on topic and not go too far off. But the thing about it is, this woman, what she literally said is proof that what the average black woman is actually doing to her own children. She literally said, well, I'm dating down because I want to give men a chance. Why are you giving losers a chance with your womb? Why are you giving losers a chance with your offspring? Like I was saying earlier with the dragonflies and lions or whatever. Anybody has seen a nature show where a female of whatever was in heat. they will bite the male lion's face off if you try to mount that lion and you're a loser. But a black woman, though, oh my God.
Black American.
Where the losers at?
This is a problem that is endemic to Black America. You don't see these types of issues as pervasive in Africa. You don't see these issues as pervasive in the Caribbean. You have to ask yourself what's happening in Black America.
Loser choosers. Sadly, there's a lot of loser choosers. You know, like you said in Africa, if you're part of a tribe, a male won't be let into a new tribe if he cannot prove himself as a provider and a protector. If he can't hunt, he can't be part of it.
Part of the reason I don't respect many of the these quote unquote relationship experts online that are male.
Yeah.
Part of the reason that I don't respect a lot of the Black male relationship experts is because their focus is always on Black women and what Black women need to do. And they really aren't helping Black men to heal. They aren't helping Black men to do the work. All you see them doing is skirting around, talking about Black women's wombs are like a muffin factory, and you have to blame the factory, and it's not a man's fault if he leaves his children. And Black men in America just don't seem to want to take accountability. And it's ridiculous. And I don't have a lot of respect because everybody's coming to Black women because Black people want to make money. They want to try to tear down Black women. They want to make money off of Black women, but people aren't doing what it is that they need.
Yes, that. How is a man tearing? The woman said, "I date losers because my self-esteem is low." She didn't say that in verbatim, but I'm tired of dating losers. I'm on this and I'm on these apps, and the only men that are attracted to me are losers, and I want a high value man. And he literally said, "Get some counseling." And she start pulling out her phone. "Get some counseling, queen." Playing with her phone. Put your phone down and listen to the man.
When she picked up, from what it is that I saw, by the time she picked up her phone, he had already told her that he didn't want to hurt her feelings because she was average at best. She didn't deserve this, and he'd already started insulting her. Kevin Samuels is toxic, and I think that it's very telling that so many Black men gravitate towards these channels where there are people tearing down Black women. You don't see men of other races gravitating towards content to tear down the women of their race. There's a sickness that exists in this country. There's a sickness. And I definitely think that Black American women need to date out. They need to divest from Black American men. There was somebody in the comments who said that I'm the type of woman that Kevin Samuels would roast. Kevin Samuels cannot permeate or penetrate over here. I was raised in a loving household with both parents. My father loves me and instilled values and worth into me. Feminine, flaming, batty boy like him could never come to me, and even he can't permeate over here because my esteem is strong. It's strong over here. I know my worth. I know my worth because I didn't have a feminized pantyhole like him to try to raise me. He couldn't permeate here. This is why he does this. You don't see women from cultures with men who step up and are masculine father figures in the home. You don't see him saying this to those women. He's saying this to broken women who are coming to a man that they can't see, obviously doesn't like women. They're coming to a man who obviously doesn't like women and asking him to rate them and all of this and trying to get advice from him about the type of men. It's like, if you want a six-figure man, go out there and get your six-figure man. Why are you coming? It's like, because they didn't have that father figure in the home, they're looking for permission. They're looking for a man to validate them, and they're coming to him.
Mm-hmm. They're looking for confirmation. I agree with you on that.
Exactly. And they're looking for confirmation from this human. And they get what they get when they come to a person like that.
Cherie said she rated herself a 5. And that's just proving that the reason why she's dating down, because she literally doesn't look at herself as worthy of of a high value man. So instead of trying to get somebody to confirm whether you should get a high value man or you should not get a high value man, focus on how you can bring your self-esteem up. So let's talk about Kevin Samuels, because we talked about the young lady.
This is my book of affirmation, self-love. This is a book that helps you rewrite your subconscious programming and reattune you to self-love. It gets rid of those insecurities that you have, and it attracts high-value relationships, business relationships, money. It attracts this stuff to you when you recalibrate your own vibration. This book right here,
okay, Tanya,
it's a life changer.
Tanya.
Yes, sir.
Let's take turns talking, because I don't want us to keep interrupting each other. Because just keep that in mind. I want us to just not interrupt each other over and over again. So the bottom line is, I look at myself as the protector of women. Tanya knows when we were just on the phone, I talked about some things that I do offline that are meant to help protect not only women, but Black people, but overall, I believe in protecting women. And one of the things that I have a problem with as far as Kevin Samuels goes is him calling the woman a broad, telling the woman to get the F out of here. That part right there was a huge problem for me, because like I said, when we first got on this live, I literally said, this young lady sounds like she's a little girl. She's 35, but the way she talks, she sounds like she's 12. So with that being said, and he's seen it also, because I could tell how he was talking. He's seen the fact that she was having problems communicating also. So why on earth would you tell a woman that you see as this little girl in a 35-year-old person's body? Why would you berate her like that? Why would you tell her, get the F out of here? Or look here, broad, this woman needs therapy. You literally said, hey, get therapy. But then you're going to turn around and say, get the F out of here?
He's abusive.
Our women. Hold on. We have to protect our women. We have to make sure.
You're having this conversation with women.
Here's the thing. The way a man, because there's different ways you can protect a woman, but the way a man, even a stranger, can easily protect a woman is by simply correcting her. If a woman texts you, or if a man texts you, and she's using bad grammar, just correct her real quick. Like, yo, just want you to know, like, your grammar is a little funky. And I'm not trying to be funny, but that's a little bit of correction that can actually make it where if she's actually dating a guy that she really likes, and little small things actually help us pay attention to who this woman is. So just correct a woman instead of berating a woman. And that's the thing I have a problem with what Kevin Samuels did. I would never, like any woman that knows me, I've never in my life called a woman a B or anything like that to her face, ever. Now,
I hear that he calls women bitches on his shows, bitches, whores, and all types of stuff.
Yes.
And people still watch him. You still give him your clicks. Have you ever written to him and spoken to him about how that's not cool? Black men don't seem to correct other Black men. They just let them run rampant.
Well, right now, I'm still learning. I'm a baby on YouTube. I'm just trying to get the feel of YouTube. First of all,
he has email.
Huh?
I'm sure he has email.
Well, I know what you're saying, but I don't want to come to him as a fan. I want to come to him as not his equal, but as another brother. Like, yo, I have a problem with what you're doing, and I would like to do a video with him and talk about that, if that happened. But at the end of the day, just sending him a random email, that'll just look like some hating commenter or whatever. I don't want to just be some hating commenter, because I'm actually an influencer, and I can actually make a change. But I have to focus on building myself up first, because like I said, just a commenter is going to be ignored. But you
know what? Listen, when Black Twitter decides to drag a person, those people are not influencers. It's death by 1,000 cuts. It's a lot of people who come together, and Black men just don't seem to come together to protect Black women. They don't seem to rally together to be like, you're not gonna. Why don't you get a Nigerian woman on this show or on his show and call her broad or bitch or F out of here and all of this, and see whether or not the Nigerian men will wait until they get 1 million subscribers to confront him. Let's see. Let's see whether or not they're going to be like, oh, well, I don't want to, let me just, and see whether or not they correct him right then and right there.
No. You have to just, and you're out here, so you understand what I'm saying to a certain degree. I don't want to just look like some just random commenter because it's not going to be respected. So I want to. I said
what I just said about Nigerian men.
Okay, I'm not worried about Nigerian men. I want to talk to him face to face. So at some point, whether it's a video, whether it's in Atlanta, I want to have a conversation with him face to face, and that's the difference. So in part of that, there's feedback out of nowhere.
Can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Remember, did you see that video the other day of the guy in Dallas who was trying to stop those women from twerking at his restaurant?
Yes.
I made a video about that situation. I did a response to that. And in the response, I said, there are just certain women that, by treating them however it is that you treat them, there's a lower chance, or there's just certain people, that there's a lower chance of the situation becoming uncomfortable for you, whether that's Black men being arrested or killed or harmed by the police, or Black women being killed or harmed by the police, or Black women being screamed on or beat up on or grabbed and all this other stuff. They're just certain people, you see them and you gather an idea about how easy it would be to victimize them.
Meaning what? Are you saying that
Black American women just aren't protected, and we get spoken to any kind of way because people have an idea and they know nobody's really going to come into my inbox. Nobody's going to really, flood my timeline, shut my business down, stop people from watching my videos. Nobody's really going to do that to protect Black women. And so we just, the cycle just perpetuates.
I'm agreeing with you. But like I said, we all have our approach. And like I said, just a random email isn't going to change anything.
Right. Just like the thing coming from one person, not legions of Black men saying, no, you can't do this.
But I don't have a legion of Black men.
There are legions of Black men out here.
Here's the thing. Just like what we talk about off air. There's a certain amount of things that we have to do, we meaning who I'm involved with, before we do something else, right? So something happens, next thing you know, somebody might expect something else to happen, but overall, that's not how it works. You have to get your money right, you have to get your influencer right, or whatever, because like I said, that is a conversation that I would like to have face to face, or video to video, not just in some random email, because I want him to see me and hear me and not just be a random commenter. So with that being said, that is my approach, but I do plan on doing that because like I said, I look at myself as a protector of women, but my way of doing that is by getting women to actually say, all right, this is not going to work for me. I'm not going to put up with this. I'm going to click off. I'm going to leave. And we talked about that also, Tanya. I want women to protect themselves by learning how to let go and walk away. So if just like that young lady, if she was on there and because she said, you're mean, instead of saying you're mean, she could have literally said, oh, okay, well, since you feel like that, since you disrespected me, click, I'm out. Do you know how many other women would have said, yes, I'm glad she did that? And then somebody else gets on his show, and then in the middle of his conversation, he's saying something, and then he is disrespectful, and all of a sudden, click, I'm out. Do you know how much that would disrupt the show? You know, a talk show or whatever, regardless of what type of talk show it is. If the person that the person is talking to just disappears in the mid sentence, now he has to find another a person to talk to.
No, it's not. It's. And I want you to be able to get to all of your talking points too.
Okay.
It's more involved than that. You know, like I said, there aren't legions of Black men out here who will check and make things uncomfortable for random Black men who disrespect or harm or victimize Black women. There aren't legions of Black men who will come together. If every Black man is like, oh, I want to wait to see him in person, then nobody would really, you know, then we wouldn't have massive online movements. You know what I mean? Black women are just unprotected. And Black women have to stand up for herself. Black women have to protect herself. Black women have to fight for herself. And then people turn around and say, oh, look, you're masculine, when she has to fight off grown men. She's been having to fight off grown men from the time that she was 6 years old.
Hence the reason for her masculine energy, which I said I do understand. So what do we do about this? If women feel unprotected, and because of them feeling unprotected, they have to exert or exhibit masculine energy, and she finds a man that actually looks like somebody that she wants to actually be with, and he wants to be with her, but she's exhibiting something that is going against him. Because you got to understand, two masculine energies don't necessarily mesh with each other. So if you're masculine, most likely the person you'll attract will be feminine. And if you do attract another masculine man, it's going to be headbutting, just like me and you, how me and you headbutt every now and then. And that's the thing. That's what happens. Imagine me and you in a relationship, Tanya. We'll be like, blah, 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 because we both exhibit masculine energy.
You and I would never be in a relationship, Aaron. There's no reason to fantasize. There's no need to fantasize about that in public.
You'll sit down.
Huh?
And if that wasn't happen, you'll sit your butt down and let go of all the masculine energy and be super feminine.
I wouldn't feel protected in a relationship with you, Aaron.
She would. Stop it. But we don't want to.
I don't even feel protected on this broadcast.
Okay, well, that may be something in you and maybe something in me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the next thing is pertaining to this situation is, at one point he said, how do you look without the wig on? And she says, and her eyelashes, and she says, I look the same. And he says, well, if you look the same, you wouldn't wear all of that. What is your opinion about that particular part, Tanya? Because I know that's a little sensitive when it comes to Black women and wearing wigs or whatever. And I have somewhat of an issue with wig wearers. I actually did a video about that. But what is your opinion about that? I know it's sensitive.
First of all, I think Kevin is toxic. I think he's very feminine. I don't think his opinion really matters, and I'm not sure why people are asking him for his opinion.
Okay, but we're on this live talking about Kevin Samuels and the woman, Tanya.
Okay. Is it really about Kevin Samuels and the woman? Is it really about her?
Actually, no, it's not. Oh my God, Tanya, what are you about to do? Please don't put a wig on. You are so silly. Yo, y'all like the video. Like the video. While Tanya puts on a freaking wig, like the videos. 379 people. Oh my God. And you look worse than you look. You look beautiful. You don't look good. Stop.
Big wheels keep on turning. I'm married. And I'm rolling. rolling on the river.
Take that freaking thing off, Tanya.
I left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. And I never lost 1 minute of sleep. Worried about the way things might have been.
Do you think like the wig stuff affects a woman's psyche in any kind of way? Makes her feel more, I don't know, entitled for something?
I was in the 60s for a moment. Oh my goodness.
Do you think a black woman wearing a wig makes her feel she's more entitled to something versus not having a wig on?
Well, I just thought I was Tina for a moment.
Tanya, come on.
What's the problem? What's the problem? Okay, what's the question?
Do you think a woman wearing a wig makes her feel a little bit more entitled?
You damn right.
Really?
I felt entitled to the stage just a moment ago. I was transformed to the river. Oh.
So is that an actual problem then? Because if this woman came on here with her hair like yours, she may not look the same. Because a lot of women can't rock that low hairstyle like you can. So can an insecure woman wearing a wig feel more entitled? And next thing you know, she feels like she needs a high value man because she looks like that woman on TV in her mind because of her wig and her eyelashes?
You know, when I put on Miss Wiggy, I get all types of men throwing money at me. Here, let's go again. Let's go again.
Oh my God. Where you going?
Let's go again.
Yo, get the likes up, y'all. Get the likes up. I need likes. It's 380 on here. Bring the likes up. Like the video. Come out of the little chat and then go up under the chat and then hit the like button and then come back. You so silly.
Let's see. Listen.
I just realized the banner is wrong.
What does the banner say?
Something about a toxic upbringing. But the thing about it is, Tanya, what does that do for you?
If I was on here like this?
What does that do for a black woman, though? Does it make her stop, Tanya?
What's the problem? Tanya, oh, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Stop, Tanya.
Let me transform again.
Thank you. Transform again. Here we go. The Tanya I love is back. So do these wigs affect a woman's psyche when it comes to her feeling of worthiness to a particular type of man or entitlement?
I don't know whether or not a person's wig, maybe if she spends a lot of money on a wig, maybe she feels like she needs to get reimbursed. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Is this a real thing?
Listen, I don't know. I don't wear wigs.
You know what? The women I adore the most don't wear wigs. The women I adore the most don't wear wigs. Listen,
you don't know. It's like I think black men spend too much time in black women's hair.
No, you spend too much time in black women's hair.
Listen.
I'm just thinking this woman may feel like she should get a high value man because of all this crap she has on her face. I'm just saying.
Black men spend so much time policing black women's bodies. If they invested half as much time policing their finances, this country would be a different country.
But if you wearing a wig is turning us off and you won't stop, and we just won't be with you,
turning black men off.
I think it is. All right, here we go, fellas. If wigs are a turn off for you, put a 1 in the chat. Only men. If wigs are not a turn off for you and you're okay with them, put a 2 in the chat. Now, I don't know how many men are in here, but let's go. And while we wait, hit the like button.
You know, the thing about it is men say one thing in public
Mm-hmm.
And they say another thing in private, their actions speak different. They want a certain,
Hey, Tanya.
you know what? Unfortunately, you know what the issue is, right?
Okay.
There's a few different issues. There's a few different issues, right?
Okay.
Um, One, we live in a country that's majority white. And so Black women have had to do things to conform to a European standard of beauty for many centuries, right? Conform to this European standard of beauty.
Right.
And then also, listen, of course, Black men don't like they say that they don't like the wigs, but then they also wish that you had a different DNA that grew the type of hair so that you wouldn't have to have a wig. They just wish that your DNA was different. They just wish that you didn't have the negroid 4C hair. They wish that you had the loose curls, look like Freddie from a different world, or have the loose curls or look like Zendaya or these other women. So no, they don't want you to wear wigs. They just want you to have the genetic a predisposition of the oppressor. They want you to have those genes. And this is why there are many Black men who covet women who can produce daughters with that hair naturally so that their daughters won't have to wear these wigs. So it's like, yeah, it's like, and then also men like to prop up their women in front of other men and be like, oh, well, look at my girl. I got this bad chick. Right.
But he's
And
just screwing her though. I'm talking about marriage. Everything I try to talk about is like legacy, marriage, family. We gotta get
and
away
you know
from
what?
the
They want their daughters to have a looser. Let me ask the women inside here. Let me ask the women in here, the Black women in here,
Okay.
right? If you were in a household where the Black men in your family made negative or disparaging comments about your natural Negroid hair, put up the number 3. If the Black women in your family made disparaging comments about your Negroid hair, put up the number 4. So it's like, so it's like you grow up in an environment where Black men are reinforcing for you that your Negroid hair doesn't look as good as maybe somebody else's daughter's hair. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look at this little girl's hair, look at her hair, right?
Yeah.
And then so then you grow up and you got these complexes, and then you're wearing these wigs and these things to give you an advantage in the dating pool, right?
Yeah.
And then Black men are like, oh, we don't want you to wear the wigs, but they're not telling white women not to wear wigs. They're not telling
white women.
They're not telling these exoticals, as they call them, not to wear wigs.
You hit a nerve right there, and you just literally just shut me up, because you're right. It starts in the Black family. Like, so when you grow up hearing men and women in your own family tell you that your hair looks like this, your hair looks like that, what do we expect Black women to do but to wear wigs and be afraid to wear their natural hair? Dang, Tanya. That was deep.
There's someone I know you have a moderator in here. There's someone in your comments who is called women broads. Somebody else has said white women don't need wigs. Nobody needs a wig, but white women wear wigs. White women wear tracks. All women, like,
all women wear wigs.
It's like remember when Jersey Shore came out and those girls were like, oh, we're going to put the extensions in and we're going to get ready and we're going to go out. And those men from Jersey Shore were like, yeah, the girls are looking real good. They got the extensions in, they're this, they're that. And they didn't make it into this big whole shame thing. But in the Black community, Black women are shamed for their hair. They're shamed for trying to do something about their hair. It's just too much. It's too much.
I understand. Like you just made an amazing point that literally just shut me up. I still don't, as me myself, I don't prefer women who wear wigs. 90% of the time, I don't have a problem with women wearing wigs. It's just like you can't leave out the house without wearing a wig, and that's the thing that hurts me a little bit because you want me to marry you. You want me to wake up next to you without a wig, but when you leave out the house, you're showing the world something different than you're showing me. And I was a part of the world when I met you, so I get wigs until I start, I commit to you, and now the wig comes off and you look totally different. I want to see you for who you are now, so I'll know who I'm marrying. I'll know who I'm committing to. A lot of us don't know who we're committing to because it's so much stuff on your head and your face.
Yeah, I understand.
So I do understand. I do understand.
As a self-love specialist, I work with women with loving themselves and doing what it is that they need to do to reattune themselves to self-love.
Yeah.
You're on here talking about what women need to do. I talk about what women need to do. Other Black men talk about what women need to do. What we have an absence of is Black men mentoring the youth and instructing Black men on what it is that they need to do. And I think it's too much. Honestly, it's too much. It's too much.
My mother made me who I am. My mother raised me as a protector of women. She used to, as a 6-year-old, make me walk on the traffic side of her and let me know that I, the 6-year-old boy, whether right or wrong, my job is to protect women, not just her, women. She said, when you grow up, as you grow up, any woman you're around, you must protect her. Every woman you're around, you must make her feel safe. Every woman you're around, you must walk on the outside of her. If you're at a Walmart, you walk on the truck. I don't care where it is. If there's a car on, I don't care if you're on a parking deck. You walk where the car can ride up and down the parking deck, and she walks on the inside of you. So my mother made me who I am. So this is what I'm doing.
Right. And like you said, you can't date every woman. So your greatest service to society to protect women is to empower men and teach men to protect women, because you can only marry one. Well, I guess you could marry.
I would like to marry 2, actually, but
well, you already have. You're already on your way to number. So what you can do is you can empower men.
I can empower. I don't like empowering anybody. Empowering.
Well, you can teach men. You can provide a platform to educate men. You can provide a platform and a space for men to step up. Because what ends up happening is everybody's talking to women, but women are preparing themselves, but preparing themselves for whom? Like you said, far too many Black women are dating down. Are there enough Black men? First of all, there's a deficit. There are 2 million less Black men in this country. Go check the census data. There's 2 million more Black women than there are Black men in this country. So there already aren't enough Black men. And the Black men that are there, how many of them are even worried about becoming college educated? How many of them are gainfully employed? The average Black man in America makes $23,000. This is what I heard from a person who says that they were looking at a business study. So I was on this show, and that's what they quoted it as. So are there enough Black men available? Because everybody is preparing Black women, but when these Black women are prepared and they're getting out there, who is there for them?
Well, keep this in mind, because that's totally understood. But ladies, all you need is one man.
There's not even enough. Every Black woman cannot get a Black man.
It's not every Black woman. There's not a machine that's going to magically boom, and put you. No, these other women are doing some stuff wrong. Just make sure you are doing the opposite of what they're doing, and you'll get what you want. To be honest with you,
I can't teach a man how to be a man.
What 90% of Black women are doing, you'll get what you want, because you'll magically be different than the average Black woman. And that is what we want. We want a woman that is not cookie cutter. We want a woman that doesn't look like the rest of these other women.
Can I ask you something?
Or act like. It's not just looks.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. Let Go?
Go ahead.
Years ago, I used to travel in the VIP lounges, and I made a video when I was coming back from the Dominican Republic. I flew first class on American Airlines, and I was in their VIP lounge.
Mhm.
And when I was in there, you know, with the champagnes and all the stuff, because we were flying internationally, I looked around and there were no Black people in there.
Mm.
And it's not lost on me that when we start reaching these upper echelons, we become less and less. And I can't teach a man how to be a man. I don't make my content for men. But it seems like most of the gurus, all of us, are pointing at Black women.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's really out there teaching men how to make money, how to be in stable relationships. This man, Kevin Samuels, is twice divorced, very feminine. He's disrespectful to women. He has toxic energies. People say he may even be a narcissist. And we got people coming to him. There's not enough Black men. There's not enough Black men in this country for Black women. And we need to start creating programs for boys. Because you have a daughter, right?
2 daughters.
You have 2 daughters. And so it's like when our daughters grow up, who's going to be there for them? Who is going, and it's like we have a lot of daughters being born, but who's going to be there to be a suitable mate? Because nobody is teaching the boys. It's cool to be a dropout. It's cool to be a dummy. Gosh.
Alexis Dillard, thank you so much for the super chat. If you guys are enjoying this video, you're welcome to drop a super chat also, or simply like the video. And a lot of you are not my subscribers. You just seen something and then you just clicked on it. So I would appreciate you guys if you were to like the video and subscribe to this channel, because this is what I talk about on a normal basis. I'm looking to find ways to save my Black people, men and women. So I'm listening to what you're saying, Tanya, and I get it. I get it. The men need help also. But if you chase 2 rabbits, how many rabbits do you catch?
I say that statement all the time. If you chase 2 rabbits, you end up losing both of them. I always say that statement. You probably heard that from me. Now you quoting me to me.
But the thing about it is, I can't save men and women. I have to focus on one thing. And
every Black man online is interested in focusing his attention on Black women and what Black women.
My mother made me who I am. One more thing. My oldest daughter, literally, I'll post a video at some point. It's like we were in IHOP and she literally beat on the table. It was like, Daddy, no, you gotta be real with these women. These women are A, B, and C. You need to help these women. And it was another time where we were talking about Trump and Hillary, right? And we were just talking about women versus men. It turned into a conversation. And she says she doesn't have that much hope in women. And I was like, okay, I'm going to change that. And she said, please do, Daddy. So not only did my mom make me who I am and have me doing what I'm doing, you know, just out of just her love and her, you know, just her teachings, you know, she's not here anymore, but also my oldest daughter did that also. So I'm
okay. Well,
I will do for men also, but I can't turn around and change everything that I'm doing and start changing everything and saying, all right, men,
it's easier. It's easier to talk to women. Women invest in themselves. Women buy self-help books. Yes, they do. Women invest in themselves. The majority of self-help books that are bought by the majority of relationship books are bought by women.
It's an action that's fun. It's just like the word empowerment.
Women invest in themselves.
Do anything.
Women invest in themselves.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Right.
Show me the stats, because I'm telling you, the majority of the relationship books, the majority of people who go to therapy, the majority of people who even go to the doctor Women invest in themselves. Like if you provide product, like this is why people focus on women. Most of the household things that are bought by women.
Let me ask you this. Do I got a bunch of products that I just throw out? And
you said you knew, but I'm sure the products will come.
No. I've been on Instagram for 3 years. Do you know?
I'm sure the products will come. Listen, people making money off of ad revenues. They're making money off of speaking engagements. They're making money off of books. They're selling T-shirts. They're selling stuff to women. Women are opening their wallets and they invest in themselves. There's Black men who don't invest in themselves, and people don't bother. People don't bother selling to Black men because they don't really seem. Very few of them seem to be interested.
Here's the thing: there's an action that women do, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're growing. I feel like, and this is just a feeling because I don't have statistics, I feel like a lot of Black women do buy relationship books, but do they ever heed by the books? Do they ever listen to the book? They can even read the book, but they're not going to listen. I don't think so. They just do action. Hold on.
That's just your feeling. Feelings are not facts.
Hold on a second. They do a lot of actions. It's like being busy and you're not being productive. There's a lot of actions. They'll buy this book. They'll buy that T-shirt. So they can look like they're doing something. They can look like, it's almost like wearing a wig. They'll spend a lot of money on a wig so they can look like they're this and that. But sadly, they're not growing. And I'm just being real.
This is unfortunately not the truth.
Okay.
Women invest in themselves. This is just your feeling that you feel that they're not, but you need to look into the stats. This is why most people focus on women as the consumers, because men just aren't really, there's nothing that a Black woman can do about her DNA. And there's nothing that a Black woman can do about the fact that we live in a society where the standard of beauty is Caucasoid.
What about her choices?
Huh?
About her choices? And Everlasting Love, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, I don't know if this is man or woman, so I'll just say they. They says, not saying you do, but most of the men that say they want natural women end up chasing and cheating with women they say they want to be like. And the reason for that is there are two types of women. There are women that we want to marry, and there are women that we just want to play with. The women who you talk about are women we just want to play with. If you want to focus on getting married and getting protected and getting covered by a man, show him who you actually are so he can know what he's actually investing in.
You're preaching to the choir. The issue. Listen.
We do play with the women.
Listen, I'm a self-love specialist. Right.
And go follow Tanya TKO TV right now. Take a second.
Most of the people on here are my knockouts. Look in the comments.
I don't know these people. I appreciate
it because they know me. Hey, they already following me. Listen, what it is that I'm saying is,
I love you, Tanya. I just want you to know that you.
You made me lose my train of thought. Now you're trying to butter me up. Look at that smile, everybody. You see him, right?
See that?
Trying to throw the pearly whites on me.
You know what I'm saying? You know.
So listen, I'm a self-love specialist, and I've been dubbed by Fox and NBC as a relationship expert. I have almost 1 million subscribers online. And I talk to women. I educate women. Mm-hmm. The issue is there are not enough Black men in this country, just per capita. Mm-hmm. There just aren't enough Black men. Black women, you're going to have to divest. You're going to have to start dating outside of your culture. You're going to have to start dating outside of your race. You're going to have to start doing other things because so there are 2 million less Black men in this country than Black women, right? That's one. So this is problematic. Of those
are single though.
Huh?
How many of those Black men are single?
How many of them are straight? How many of them are straight? How many of them are single? How many of them are incarcerated? How many of them are undereducated and underemployed? So Black women, you're going to have to do what it is that you need to do, because what ends up happening is these people get you all buttered up and all ready, put you all in the oven, and then you come out the oven and there's no plate for you to sit on. There's no man there waiting for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's just statistically, there's just not enough.
All you need is one.
Right, but there's not a 1-to-1 ratio. And of the 2 million less, some are gay, some are already involved, some like white women, some don't like Black women, some hate women, some are dumb, crippled, and crazy, some are just not a good fit.
But what about the some? Focus on the some that actually want to be with you. See, all these are sadly excuses. We can sit around and say, ain't no good jobs out there.
It's not an excuse.
Let me say this, Tanya. I remember when I first started selling cars. It was a girl I was dating, right? And I said, you know what? I want to start selling cars, right? I just wanted to do something different, right? And the first thing she said was, ain't nobody buying cars. And I'm like, I don't need everybody to buy a car. I just need one person to buy a freaking car. And I got in the car business and I did pretty well for myself because I did not go in that lifestyle or that world thinking that ain't nobody buying cars. So ladies,
people, you're not. Can you do me a favor? You can share your screen. Can you go to census.gov?
I don't know how to do that.
Go to census.gov and look at the number of African American men in this country.
I won't mess nothing up.
Okay.
I don't want to mess nothing up.
Listen. There are 40 million Black people in this country. Mm-hmm. There are 2 million less men than women. There is not a 1-to-1 ratio. Every Black woman in this country, just by the numbers alone, will not get a Black man.
Forget them. Focus on you. You're one person. Right.
So what about you? This is the problem.
Why? You're an individual.
I feel very ostracized right now on this broadcast. I feel like I'm not being heard. And I feel like I'm just talking for no reason.
Because I don't believe in these statistics.
There's just not enough men.
All you need is one.
Every woman, every heterosexual woman.
But that means it's still 6 million, 4 million. I don't care if it was only 1 million Black men.
Every woman will not get a man.
1 million Black men in the country. And all you need is one.
Listen. I know that I'm going to get my one. I'm not worried. I always attract men who are wealthy and well-to-do. I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about the women who I life coach.
Tanya, you trying to make me jealous? Why are you doing that? Why you trying to make me jealous? I don't care nothing about these wealthy men. You know what? Why are you trying to make me jealous, Tanya? Why are you doing that? Let's go ahead and end this broadcast. Because at the end of the day, ladies, I understand what
men always want to talk about speaking facts until you start speaking facts. Then they want to start speaking about a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream that every Black woman in America is going to get a Black man because it's just not enough.
I don't care if it's 80 Black men in America. All you need is one. As long as they're still single, you have an opportunity to get married to a Black man. Stop it. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. I don't care about statistics like that. I'm not a statistic person. You're one individual and he's a one individual. As long as he's single, you have an opportunity. And with that being said, you got any closing remarks?
I feel like you're not taking this seriously.
I'm not.
Somebody trying to call me and all my beauty ugly, child, please. You better go you better go get your cataract, child, because something wrong with your eyes.
G-O-M, I don't know what you talking about.
All this beauty over here, honey. Please.
Don't come at my girl. Stop.
GMO. This is why they call me Tanya TKO. I'm a knockout. Right. Listen, my closing remark is Men, listen, be your brother's keeper. There's far too many men out here focused on helping women become the best women that they can be, getting themselves together for that man. And then when they go and they invest in, you asked me for my closing remark and you're going to cut me off mid-sentence? Oh, what is?
Sorry.
And then you're going to be like, oh, Tanya, because you have to speak up for yourself. You're masculine.
Sorry. You're right. I digress.
Thank you. Which part was I up to? After you finish going to the weekend retreats and the seminars, and after you finish going and getting yourself together and doing your therapy and doing all of this, and you come out on the other side pristine and sparkling, who is going to be there for you? I am starting a matchmaking service, and I'm tapping into assisting those diamonds in the rough getting together. You know, the socially awkward Black men who are financially well-to-do, and helping them find Black women who want to be with them and vice versa, right? I'm working on getting people paired interculturally and helping Black Americans and Black Caribbeans get together in relationships, helping Black American women, because there are just not enough Black American men in this country. And if there's any man out there who feel that it's your calling to educate women, I implore you that if you really truly want to help women, the best way to help women is to make sure that after they finish doing all of their buffering themselves up, that there is a man, a feasible man waiting for her on the other side who has also done his work. Because it's like, we're not talking to Black men about doing the work. We're not talking to them about getting themselves together. They're not going to therapy. They're not doing their thing. And then when the women come out, they're like, ta-da, here I am, and I'm ready. And there's no one there for them. That's why I'm starting a matchmaking service, getting people connected interculturally. So that is my closing remark. I implore all of the Stefan Speaks, Derek Jackson, all of these Black men, I suggest that you all start creating some sort of content for Black men to help them fix themselves up on the inside. That's my closing. Thank you.
And make sure to follow Tanya TKO if you're not already following her on her YouTube channel. She's amazing. Follow her on Instagram at Tanya TKO 2D. And where's your book? Let me see your book again.
This is the book of affirmation, self-love. It is sold out worldwide, but copies will be done for back and publisher in about a month. So this book right here helps you rewrite your subconscious programming. You can put it on your wish list on Amazon and get ready for when it is back in stock.
And I also have a book that I never really talk about, but it's called The Terrible Life of a Beautiful Woman. And the story of my upbringing, and is also a self-help book. So look for The Terrible Life of a Beautiful Woman on Amazon, and the link will be up under my up under this video. And follow me on YouTube, of course, Mr. Let Go, or just subscribe. You're here already. And hit the like button as you watch this video. And on Instagram, it's at Mr._Let Go. And with that being said, thank you so much, Tanya. This was awesome, and much love to all of you.
Thank you for watching. Make sure that you thumbs up the video, make sure that you subscribe, and hit the bell notifications to be notified of new videos. Leave a comment below, share the video, and come over to TanyaTKO.com to subscribe to my personal mailing list, and drop me a message of a viral story that you'd like for me to cover. See you on the other side. Peace.